This month has been an eye-opening lesson in the intricacies of branding. As a branding professional and consultant, Sean Adams reminds us several times through his LinkedIn learning, it's more than an icon or a watermark, and it's more than just a logo. Branding encompasses the core values that define the brand's identity. However, in order to get all the pieces together, to bring the brand together, there has to be a strategy. There's a process to strategy which includes a selection of multi-level options from which to choose. Some corporations have their own ideas and philosophies on which strategies to use, but there were some common threads which intertwined through the most successful corporations and stood out and brought back some really fond memories. The first one was building a brand persona, and it was recommended by Brad Nix as well as in a blog written by the Marketing Evolution. The brand persona is one strategy that seems to agree that not only every source listed, but all of your competitors will be listing too. In June of 2002, I went to work for Bath and Body Works, and that is when I met Kate. Kate is Bath and Body Works shopper. She is who you sell to. She is who they introduce you to. And that is when you're training, that is who you sell to when you're role playing. She's 30-something. She works full-time. She's a mother of 2. And there were a few other things I don't exactly remember. It's been 20 years. Since then, I encountered several other brand personas created by Starwood Hotels, Marriott, and by Hilton in all kinds of training seminars. Another common thread of the most successful companies that I saw was the SWOT analysis. When I read that word, I actually think I got goosebumps. Every company that comes in and took over, which was surprisingly a lot of them, that would come in and take over a hotel, or anytime I would change companies or change cities or move as a sales manager in the hospitality industry, I would conduct a SWOT analysis, and it was the most effective tool that we used in the hotel industry. And as the first couple of times you could shop your competitors, either in person or by the phone, and then they got to know your voice, and so then you had to have somebody else shop them, your administrative assistant or another sales manager. You had to keep circling or cycling. So that SWOT analysis was very familiar and a little traumatic. The next section of branding strategy was the need to adjust branding strategy on the fly. Brad Nix talks about the Connect a Credit Union and the use of the word bank and how it scared their market share away. The same was the result of the Cola Wars and their knee-jerk reaction to add more sugar and change the recipe of Coke that had worked for over 100 years, and the result was New Coke, and that was a tragedy. I remember Procter & Gamble in the 90s. There was a rumor that started about their logo and how it became satanic because of some curls in the logo were backwards 666, and then there were horns, and that made the satanic symbols. The horns were at the end of the moon, and it took them years to get over it and rebranding their entire logo. So those were some strategy things that I've personally remember in just our generation. And that leads me to my last section, which was the branding communication. Brad Nix emphasizes the importance of being a storyteller, and Sean Adams emphasizes the importance of leaving the appropriate tools behind to make sure that your brand continues to tell the message that you've agreed upon and that they want to continue to tell, to make sure that they're putting their best foot forward and that they're shining the best light on you as the designer. And as long as you've done your job well, then they will have the appropriate tools to continue to make their brand the shining star.